live from beautiful Casa de Clark in Independence, Iowa. It's Unemployed with your host, Matt Clark. Promotional consideration for this episode paid for by the Republican Party. Sorry about that, America, but honestly, we didn't think he had a snowball chance either. And now here's your host, Matt Clark.
Greetings, Internet, YouTube, it is on. The Unemployed Superhero coming to you live from the Music Conservatory with Max the Wonder Dog. We've quickly become the fan favorite of the show. You know, nobody cares about me, they all want Max. The mighty JP100D over the shoulder. Say hi, Max. Max is excited. Don't you? You like being on camera. Say hi. Say hi to the people. Oh, these videos keep getting later and later every day. What a day. I've been doing homework all day. I'm taking my bachelor's degree online. Smack dab in the middle of it. I got about another 3 or 4 quarters left before it's over with. This has been my most challenging quarter of classes because a couple of these classes are just, and pardon my French, bullshit. They are stupid classes that I believe are strictly here just to be busy work. And this is the last week for 2 of them. And I've got 5-page papers to write by tomorrow in all of them. Plus they have some stupid discussions they want you to get involved in during. It's just a lot of stupidity in my point of view. And a lot of busy work. People who actually have jobs, I don't know how the hell they do it getting through all this crap. I'm not employed, and I'm thinking, gosh, at least 4 to 5 hours a day in this of just writing stupid shit. But what can you do? I'm not the one writing the curriculum for it. It is the 10th of November, about 7 o'clock in the evening. I've just got through doing a bunch of writing, by the way. And I forgot what time it was, and the fact that I haven't done one of these today. So here I am doing my video of the day. We are a day removed from the beginning of the Trump presidency. And boy, yesterday was amusing. A bunch of people like in Seattle and Oregon and places, New York City, got together and protested the election of Donald Trump. I'll say this, white people don't know how to protest. We needed a full-fledged riot. This was just like a bunch of people walking down Main Street booing Donald Trump. Well, that's not going to accomplish much. I find it kind of amusing because it shows you the real divide in this country, in my opinion. Now, granted, I'm not black. Never have been black. I have been a Caucasian my entire life. And, but from where I sit, which right now is in this chair with my dog in my lap, from where I sit, and I think this is I'm going to change what I just said. To me, this brings out a major divide between minorities in this country and whites in this country. Let me put it that way. Being a white guy myself, most of the other white guys I know and talk to don't look at racism in America. They don't really see racism in America. They see the divide economically. In other words, there are poor black people and there are poor white people. If racism was real, there would be no poor white people. There would just be poor black people. So that's how a lot of white folks see racism in America. Um, I think a lot of that has to do too with the fact that when you talk to a white person about racism, what they tell you is that it's holding another group of racial people down. In other words, the blacks don't get jobs, the Mexicans don't get jobs, or the Mexicans get this job, but they don't get above that job. That's how I think a lot of white people view racism. And the majority of white folk in America, middle class white folk in America, don't have the power, in their opinion, to be racist. In other words, if they don't like black people, they don't have the power not to get them a loan or a job or voting rights or whatever you want to say. So they don't really look at racism the same way as minorities do because, in their opinion, they can't do anything that's racist. They can be racist. They can not like black people and Mexicans, but they can't do anything about it. So therefore, a lot of white middle class people don't think there's that much racism in the world because they don't have the power to act on it. Calling somebody the N-word, in their opinion, is not racist. It's a racist thought, but it's not impacting their lives. Now, I'm sure if you talk to a minority person, say for instance a Muslim, who's been told by our president-elect he's going to throw you out of our country, that's racism. And white people would agree with that, I believe. It's just that they don't have the power to do it. So they lump racism separately from themselves. I think the people who voted for Donald Trump, who heard his racist rhetoric and his sexist rhetoric, honestly don't care as long as his presidency benefits them. America is a selfish country. I don't know about other countries. I've never lived there. But I can tell you, for the most part, most Americans are selfish. They don't care how it affects other people as long as it affects them positively. In other words, if there was a job that I wasn't qualified to do, he agrees, and getting that job would hurt people who were qualified to do that job, most people wouldn't care as long as they got the job. This is a very selfish country, self-interested country. Now, if you attack us like 9/11, then Americans get together for self-interest, though, to defend it. Attacking America, Americans see that as attacking a single citizen. 9/11 affected Americans because Americans saw it as an attack on us. So therefore, they got behind the people who fought against the terrorist attack. We're a strange country. We really are. For as much as we talk about unity, we're not very united. That's for sure. We only get united when crazy shit happens, like 9/11. And even then, we didn't get... The only united thing we got is a hate for Muslims. So if you were Muslim in this country when 9/11 happened, you weren't part of the party. I guarantee you that. You probably still aren't. You got some strange looks after 9/11, I'm sure. But that is America. I don't want to keep talking about Donald Trump. It happened. It's over with. But I still do think America has to look in the mirror very hard because we really don't know what's going to happen under a Trump presidency. I will tell you this, a government that stops spending money on its population, and when I say that I mean like not spending money on welfare, Medicare, Medicaid, investing in education, investing in schools. A government that does not do that, the prior job I had to being unemployed right now, the people who work there are going to feel it. Where I used to work, there was funding from the government that helped it exist, and I have a very good feeling that that help from the government is going to cease to come. So in a sense, it was probably not a terrible thing for me to get fired when I did, because I have a feeling there's going to be tough times ahead for that organization. And any organization that takes money from the government to help survive, you're going to be feeling a pinch, because that's probably the first thing Trump is going to do, is take away money from the funding of extemporaneous things like Planned Parenthood, stuff like that. My guess is PBS is going to take a hit, the Public Broadcasting Service. A lot of that stuff, the arts and sciences are going to take some hits, because that's the first thing he's going to do, I think, is going to suggest we cut from there. And if Republicans, they don't have filibuster insurance right now, so Democrats can still filibuster, although I did hear today that you should not be shocked if Trump attacks filibustering. Me personally, I'm not too worried. I don't think he's going to do anything. I think when it's all said and done, this is going to end up being a lot like the George W. Bush presidency, which was bad enough, but I really see it going there, because I just don't see him doing all that much. He's going to be a CEO. If any decisions are made, it's going to be made by people that he hired, not himself. So I just don't think it's going to be as bad as everybody thinks it's going to be, but it's definitely not going to be good. It's not going to be progressive. I think the language used in discussions in government is about to take a step back. The discourse is about to take a step back, in my opinion. That was depressing, I have to say. That was depressing. I'm trying to make these more entertaining and make them a little more. I have actually got a good sense of humor. Unfortunately, the things that have happened in society over the past month ain't been fucking funny. I'll tell you, this Trump thing, the whole presidential election thing, has been depressing as shit, because you get to see the ugly face of America. And I am curious to see about the Trump presidency. Is going to be very entertaining. So leave your CNN on, because you're going to see a bunch of protests, a bunch of people going crazy. And the divide between educated people and non-educated people is about to get ugly. This country is about to turn into a Hank Williams Jr. music video, I think. Gonna be interesting. Anywho, that's all I'm going to talk about today. Getting ready for the weekend. Going in Friday to speak to the attorneys for my father to see about getting power of attorney, that kind of thing. Some estate planning. Maybe what facility he may wind up in. According to my sister, he's getting real crazy. So it may happen sooner than later. We will find out tomorrow. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow with our special Veterans Day edition of Unemployed with Maddie Clark, where I will give you my slanted opinion on veterans in America. You've heard a little bit of it, but I'll give you the full-blown shot tomorrow. Max the Wonder Dog's big on veterans' rights, by the way, right? He is. That's all I got for today. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Say goodbye. Say bye. You wanted up here. Say goodbye. Don't lick my ear. Say goodbye. That's all I got for you today. We'll talk to you more tomorrow. For Max the Wonder Dog, this is your unemployed superhero. Have a good rest of your evening. Ravens and the Browns, hold me down for that one. And I'll talk to you later. Stay sexy, San Diego.